This video was brought to you in part by the supporters of the AMTV Patreon. Thank you. Hi there guys, it's Adam Martyn here, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. This time we're here to review the 2022 New Year's Day special, Eve of the Daleks. First of all, apologies this hasn't come out sooner. I've been away, I've been relaxing, spending time with my girlfriend Rebecca, which has been lovely, and it's been a little bit later as well because I've recently come down with the big C. I probably shouldn't say what it is, but I think you all know what it is. I seem to be okay, thankfully, just, a bit of stuff in my head and in my nose and just not feeling generally well, but hey, this will keep me busy, because I'll be in this room for the next 7 days. So, Eve of the Daleks, like all my reviews, it's going to be sort of here and there I talk about. I first want to talk about the time loop, the main concept of the story. Time loop concepts a lot of people do find fascinating, myself included, and I did wonder how this one was going to play out with the Daleks. And for the most part, I actually really enjoyed the concept of this time loop, how it was getting shorter, how things became more frantic. And with the Daleks themselves, can I just say, this story sort of made me remember childhood fears I had of Daleks when I first saw them. Like, there's one shot in particular, I think it's the first time we see it, it's when Nick comes out of his storage unit and sees the Dalek, and the Dalek's like in silhouette, and you can only really see the blue light of its eye. I've had that nightmare several times, like being stuck in a dingy or dimly lit corridor and only being able to see the light of a Dalek. And the Daleks themselves, I thought, for the most part, were very intimidating this episode. Like, a lot of their dialogue was really chilling. Like, I like how that one Dalek says, "Daleks are patient, I will wait." Are they patient all the time? Arguably not really, but it was nice to hear that variety, I suppose. I also like their upgraded weaponry, how the Doctor can't just shut them down with a sonic screwdriver, how it's almost like this rapid-fire gun. And I know a lot of people have been talking about the whole, the plot armor argument of, why can't the Daleks shoot them all in a narrow corridor? And obviously, they're the main characters, the plot has to advance. Where do I sit on that personally? Well, I'm not really bothered. Like, I watch this stuff to enjoy it. Maybe characters missing shots is something I would have been bothered about when I was younger. Personally, if you're bothered about that now, that's completely valid. You have every right to criticize it. But just for me, the whole, is their aim good or bad or not, it didn't really affect my enjoyment of the episode, per se. I liked a lot of the Dalek comedy as well. It's always nice when they get funny things to say. Personal highlights for me, I am not Nick. Nick Briggs, I see you. Daleks do not store stuff. That was another good one. Daleks do not have managers. There was just a lot of great lines in there. And I love as well when Yaz and Dan have had their little conversation, which we'll get onto a bit later. Don't you worry, Thassies out there. But when they have the conversation, then the Daleks corner them. Yaz calls out for the Doctor, and the Dalek says something to the effect of, "The Doctor can't save you. The Doctor will never save you." That was really chilling. So some really strong Dalek dialogue this time. But the main two side characters of this story, of course, are Sarah and Nick. And what about their whole dynamic? First of all, I think Aisling B, I think it's Aisling, forgive me if I'm wrong, but Aisling B, I thought, knocked it out of the park as Sarah. She came across as natural, she was warm, she was spiky, she was really funny, and yeah, she was just great. I would have loved to have seen more of her character throughout the series. Nick as well had his likeable moments too. He was really endearing. The little awkward banter they have near the beginning really made me chuckle as well. The main point, I think, from their relationship, if you like, that people have been on the split decision is when we find out what Nick keeps in his unit, which, of course, is various items that belong to his ex-girlfriends, because he believes in keeping them in case they ask him back. Now, that sort of behaviour could certainly be interpreted as being a bit stalkery, a bit creepy. In fact, I think Sarah actually says that. Oh no, that's about him coming every New Year. But basically, a lot of people have been, triggered by this or are negatively affected by this and this sort of behaviour. I'd like to believe it wasn't Chris Chibnall, the writer's intention to frame it in this way, although I can completely see how it came across in that way, and maybe it could have been done in a way where it didn't emphasize that enough. Obviously, by the end, they're seemingly going out together, they're going to travel the world, and, she believes he's this good-hearted weirdo and stuff like that, which is a nice sentiment, but yeah, maybe that whole thing of keeping ex-girlfriend's stuff maybe could have been explained a bit more. But alas, that's what it is. In terms of the TARDIS team, so you've got Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, of course, Mandip Gill as Yaz, and John Bishop as Dan. Again, really strong. I really like this dynamic between the three of them. I wish Dan had even more to do. He did have stuff to do, but I wish he had even more, especially considering in Flux. He got like little bits and pieces, but I would have loved to have seen more. That scene where he distracts the Dalek, I found hilarious. I wasn't even bothered that he was just walking around it to avoid the gunfire. Why can't the Dalek just move its midsection like it did back in Dalek in 2005? I wasn't bothered. I was laughing my ass off at that whole scene. This episode on the whole was really funny. Like, they weren't joking when they were like, it's sort of a rom-com. It genuinely was a very funny episode for me. But I love that whole distraction scene. I love his laid-back Liverpoolness. John Bishop's just great, man. Absolutely great. And of course, the one thing I should probably mention that sent the internet wild is the sort of confirmation that Yaz has feelings for the Doctor and not just as a friend. We get this really lovely scene between Yaz and Dan where Dan can see it and basically, allows Yaz to reveal to him that she does feel that way for the Doctor, but she doesn't know how to tell anyone and didn't even know how to tell herself, which might sound a bit odd at first, but I guess for a lot of people in the LGBT community, or really regarding anything that you sort of deny yourself or hide from yourself, that's quite a powerful thing to admit. Like, you didn't realize that for yourself. That must be such a revelation, also maybe very liberating, but you can see how it affects her, like even just saying it to Dan. Dan sort of has a similar conversation with the Doctor, saying that Yaz really likes her, and once more the Doctor pars it off, as she tends to do in this incarnation, but we do get a shot of Jodie sort of, she's thinking about it. So, yes, it is, I guess, confirmed that Phasmin is probably going to happen, or something's going to happen. I know a lot of people have praised the representation, of course, which I think is great, all for representation here. So I just hope we get to develop it more in the last 2 episodes that Jodie's got and that it isn't just brushed aside. So come on, Chris, give us Phasmin, give the people what they want. So overall, I don't have much more to say about some of the finer points. I just really had a lot of fun with this episode. The dialogue was strong, the comedy was strong, the Daleks were really strong in it. Again, scary yet also funny when they needed to be. The time loop concept really kept me engaged. I've watched this twice now. I didn't feel bored for a second. Yes, there are a few problems, like, the potential, like, stalkery implications of Nick, and maybe that wasn't handled too well. I also would have loved more Dan stuff, as I said. More Doctor and Yaz, like, chatting as well. There's a few, like, little lines here and there. Yaz lamenting they'll never have that moment where the Doctor tells her everything. There's things like that, but I really would have wanted, like, some more full scenes about that. But hopefully we will get them in the next 2 episodes. But yeah, honestly, out of the New Year's Day specials, this is the 4th one now. I would honestly say this has been my favourite. It really has. I've enjoyed the past 3 for what they were, but certainly out of the 4 New Year's Day specials of the modern era, or of Jodie's era, I should say, Eve of the Daleks is my favourite, absolutely. It stands on its own brilliantly. It has a nice little mention to the Flux at one point, which, just to go back, sorry, that was another good point. The way the Dalek talks about the Doctor destroying them, and then the way the Daleks, I guess, explain their vitriol for that, and their never-ending obsession that they're just going to keep killing the Doctor over and over and over again, and then ultimately kill her. I thought that was great. I thought that was a great, like, Dalek motif. I thought that was really great to say, and it's stuff I wish the Daleks had a lot more of regularly when they appear. Obviously, they say exterminate, that's what we're here for, but it is nice to go beyond that initial repertoire as well. So, really good moment there. And just to tie it off, we got a little teaser for the, I believe it's the Easter special, which is Legend of the Sea Devils. The Sea Devils, man! The Sea Devils are coming back. Literally, when it pulled in focus and it showed it was a Sea Devil, I swore really loudly out loud around my girlfriend and her family. Thankfully, we're all very comfortable with each other, so they weren't bothered. They laughed more than anything. But yeah, it was great to see a Sea Devil. And it looks great, doesn't it? It'll be great to see it in full. We've got like a behind-the-scenes picture and those few seconds in the trailer, but it looks like a perfect update of that classic Sea Devil design, but also adapted for the modern era. So I am hyped. Legend of the Sea Devils, Pirate Queens, Sea Devils, the TARDIS team, hopefully dressing up as pirates. I'm hyped, man. It should hopefully be really good. But those are my initial thoughts and impressions of Eve of the Daleks. And let me know what you thought as well. I'm always interested to hear. Let me know in those comment sections below. Also, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. It really helps us out. And if you're brand new here, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you aboard. I've been Adam Martyn from AMTV. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.